Hey, everybody, really interesting chat today about maximizing enterprise software ROI and all the issues that pertain to it with a true expert and innovator in the field at Rimini Street. Michael, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you today, Evan?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for joining. Really intrigued by your team and the mission. Maybe before that, introduce yourself, your role, and what's the big idea behind Rimini Street?
Uh, I'm Michael Perica. I'm our Chief Financial Officer here at Rimini Street. And from a mission standpoint, we are the world's leader in third-party enterprise platform support provider vendor replacement. We were founded 15 years ago, and since then we've built into other services where we can assist our clients maximize the value of their existing assets that they own, so they can have better business outcomes and better, as you said, ROI.
And what was the original mission, the founders, the principles? How did that change since the inception of the company?
So it was founded on the principle that the market not only wanted an alternative to the shackles, if you will, of the maintenance programs of the OEMs, the providers of the actual licenses and the software. Insofar as the maintenance was restrictive, it wasn't a heavy investment area. It was also a sales tool to get one to re-up on licenses and re-implement. And we felt that the market needed an alternative, and been doing it since. And as I noted previously, it has evolved into many other business units and operations and services to build off of our core.
Brilliant. So you're a CFO. You obviously have many peer and customer CFOs. What's top of mind these days to you and the CFOs that you speak with, in terms of the financial strategies they're looking at? So many issues from supply chains to offshoring, nearshoring, tariffs. I mean, where do you even begin? But maybe you could take a stab at the top three or four issues that's on your mind these days.
So Evan, not only what's on my mind, and we are thankfully not significantly impacted by the supply chain, as we are services and a people / technology business primarily. However, our largest end market segments where we support platforms for entities have these supply chain challenges. And from a prioritization standpoint, number one is preparation and analysis with regard to these shifting winds, if you will, right? And the dynamics that are brought forth with the new administration 2.0 version of the administration that came in just a few days ago, in fact. And we're helping folks prioritize between the gotta have and the nice to have to free up not only capital in the dollars and cents, but your human capital and your ability to be flexible. I would imagine, Evan, I'm not the only one sitting in this chair that's saying, with these changing winds, that one has to be flexible. One has to have knowledge of what are the alternatives under scenario analysis and be able to move quickly. And this is where we're helping a lot of folks, particularly because making quick moves, there are changes to your core platforms and your IT systems, and no one can do it better than us.
Oh, so well said. And speaking of IT systems, so many concerns there around security, cybersecurity. It's not just a CSO issue, CIO issue, it's a board issue now. And compliance, all these new regulations around compliance and regulatory requirements, which are global now. Every country has their own favorites. How does that factor into what you do and your support models?
And as you can appreciate, Evan, in no uncertain terms, we have in excess of 3,000 platforms around the world in over 100 jurisdictions, right? They have their own cybersecurity parameters. And we have to get into these systems securely. We have to work within these systems securely, and we have to exit in a secure manner. It is something that is front and center. And we also have solutions for those large platforms where we can ring fence and provide a security alternative as well. So this is obviously top of mind. Tough to get talent these days, given, as you noted, right, that this is an elevated issue, has been, but even more so elevated issue both to the board, to shareholders, right, and all the disclosure parameters, not only here in the U.S. and abroad. So, and so much the digitization of all information effectively, right? It's all out there for the nefarious folks to go and get.
Yeah, scary times, but also tons of opportunity. Speaking of digitization and digital transformation, how do you think about this balancing act between modernizing, which everyone gets excited about, but maintaining all the legacy systems, dealing with technical debt, and that juggling act that you kind of have to deal with as a CFO as well on the financial side?
Indeed, Evan. And here at Rimini Street, we have our pillars, how we approach and allow our clients to swiftly and more economically evolve by providing the support, then optimizing your system with our managed services offerings, and then ultimately transform. Transform with our partnerships. We announced a recent partnership with deep partnership with ServiceNow. I'm sure many folks in the enterprise software space are familiar with ServiceNow. That can provide you a quicker, greater ROI alternative to going through modernization with the 100 plus platforms of software. I don't know if there's a CFO out there that has a P&L that could survive, right? And not only the individuals, the consultants, and the need and the cost of upgrading all platforms for this supposed modernization, and they all have their own embedded intelligence. What does one do? This is where we help folks see alternatives of harnessing the existing assets you have on the of the great software that you already purchased and put in a hybrid model on-prem in the cloud. And this is where we guide folks through this journey and provide an alternative versus the very captive, singular, isolated view of a vendor's modernization plan just for their software platform. We have the ability enterprise-wide and globally to look and assist clients with these challenges. And above all, one of the greatest challenge is the availability of resources, right? And the time to do all of this while all along you are in a different business than just putting in IT systems. And that's where we really help folks. And it's a great part of our mission now that has evolved, Evan. And we really enjoy working closely as a partner, a key partner, not only providing greater economics, but strategic insights to get to a transformation stage and modernization.
Interesting. And you have many, many thousands of customers, so I don't need to ask you to pick a favorite child, but any care to share any anecdotes or success stories showcasing kind of the impact that you have when it comes to the vendor support side?
From a success story, there is a household name, a global automobile manufacturer. Speaking of, when we're talking about the potential wins here, headwinds with the announced that February 1st seems to be there would be Mexico and Canada, right? Tariffs coming into the U.S. A large automobile manufacturer that from a frame agreement where we support them in excess of 30 countries, these are global entities, right? That is so pleased with our value proposition, have asked, and they actually encourage their supplier community to work with Rimini Street as well. And I can't think of a better ringing endorsement, Evan, right? Where it's not only do they assist us, they do a wonderful job. We believe this is appropriate, and we recommend our supplier community to work with these folks as well. And we're really proud of that. We're really proud of that.
Brilliant. So I have lots of emerging tech discussions with your colleagues, the CIOs and CTOs, when it comes to AI and automation, machine learning, all the exciting topics du jour. But what does it mean for enterprise software support when it comes to all these new technologies? How do you see these trends from your sort of unique point of view?
And Evan, this is I believe in the technology. We believe in the technology insofar as these large, appropriate LLMs to securely, back to our earlier discussion on secure, get trained on your data, your business processes. But we recommend don't do so in a captive vendor space of just upgrading one platform with their LLM, their analytical view. Do it enterprise wide. Put it on top, layer on top with the Now platform that we have our partnership with ServiceNow, or have data integrity. Clean up your data, put it at the data layer, put it on top, and allow to experience the innovation on top, versus an embedded LLM slash model for each software platform that's going to be sending different results, or as the industry calls it, hallucinations. I like that one from the industry. And this is where we help folks take a look at an enterprise-wide implementation of Gen AI in the future roadmaps there. And that's where one will get, and I believe in this, and one will obtain the greatest efficiencies from an operation and the best intelligence, not only your business and the data, and quick, where you can be more proactive and flexible, as noted previously. So this is a really, it's an interesting space. It's an area appropriately to be investing in, but I would caution to just be captive with one vendor's look on a limited data set. This is probably not an optimal path.
No, well said. So it's that time of the year. Budgeting, probably your favorite time of the year. Is that right? Maybe your least favorite. I'm not sure either way, but everyone's looking for budget relief, doing more with less, and
Indeed.
re-evaluating ROI. And I'm sure you have many spreadsheets around that topic. But how do you approach that and think about ROI these days, given the complexity out there?
And Evan, it's the discipline that, irrespective of the state, not only the organization within the industry, et cetera, and I'm sure a lot of my peers internally, not only here where I've had throughout my career, the gotta have versus the nice to have, and then to have the discipline, right? To have the discipline that even midstream, where something, though there is something one really wants and sees a long-term benefit, doesn't make sense given where we are in our business cycle, our industry cycle, and a corporate cycle. And I enjoy the budgeting cycle. It is doing a bottoms-up annual review, and more frequent is a good exercise, and it allows us to challenge ourselves, not only myself, my team, but in the organization. So, thankfully, being in January here, we have that behind us. But one thing I will say, Evan, that those of us that have been around this a long time, I don't know many other endeavors or initiatives where so much effort across the entire organization is done, and as soon as you finish it, it's wrong, because the world doesn't work in the way we predict, does it?
It doesn't indeed. So true. And any final words of advice, whether it's big picture or even just moving to a third party support, something you know a lot about, what would your key takeaway be for those folks listening or watching?
A key takeaway I would emphasize is look outside of a vendor roadmap and their view of the world. Folks with Rimini Street are partners. Let's have a conversation. There are alternate paths that will get you quicker to greater business outcomes, enterprise wide, and that's what we do, and that's what we enjoy doing. And we're looking forward to having many more conversations.
Wonderful. Any travel or trips coming up? Any destinations somewhere warm for you personally? What's on your calendar for the next couple of months?
Oh, wonderful, Evan. Thank you. We, along those lines, around spring break time for my daughter, we head to the Emirates. You can probably see the Burj Khalifa in the background there. I have the Seattle Space Needle where I'm domiciled, and we go there in the April timeframe. It's a wonderful place to visit. We really enjoy it.
It is. And around that time, I think it's GITEX, the big IT show, which I have gone to in the past. It's an amazing place, amazing country. So enjoy, and thanks for joining and sharing just a bit of your vision and mission.
Likewise, Evan, it was my pleasure.
Thanks so much. Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening and watching and sharing. Bye-bye.